Oh my goodness. All right, hang on one second. Hello, Miss Meadows. How are you doing? Oh my goodness. So, I hope I'm kind of a minute late, so I hope nobody was searching for me. Welcome everybody. We are going. Oh, I think I just hit my camera with my head. I needed to adjust my chair. We are going to be doing something fun today. I hope it's fun. So, we're going to make some flowers with some coffee filters. And I wanted to use that as part of the the decoration for the front of my Tall Skinny journal that we've been working on. Okay, so I've got some white coffee filters, and the reason that we're gonna use coffee filters is because they will hold quite a bit of water. And I pulled out some other things here. I've got this piece of sari silk. I've got a whole bunch of this stuff that was scraps that came from making saris, and then they sell it. And so it's a nice little way that they can make a little bit of extra money, and it just comes all in a great big bundle. And I just take I just find a color, and they're all sewn end to end. And so I just pick a color I want, and I just snip it off right at, the ends of the colors. And that way it works out really easy for me to, get the color that I want. Okay, so this is my day that instead of going live on Facebook and YouTube, I'm just here on YouTube. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get some watercolors ready. And I think what I want to do is we've used a little bit of yellow in here for some of the color, to add some color to the journal. And I really do like using the yellow with the blue. How do you guys like that? Do you think that's pretty fun? Okay. Yeah, let me know that you're here. Say hello in the comments, you guys. So, and tell me where you're watching from. I always am interested in where people are, coming from. So first what we're going to take is I'm going to use the white ones, and I hope I've got enough today because what I use for my own coffee, I use the non-bleached filters. And so, those are they look like they've been coffee dyed. But I'm just going to tear off some around here. I don't want to go too wide because I don't think I'm going to have enough if I try to do it very wide. But it's like once you start, it's kind of hard to change that distance around there. And we're just going to give this some watercolor. So, since coffee filters are made to hold coffee grounds getting wet and holding that water, they're pretty strong. So I think this is going to be just perfect. Now, once we get some color on it, now I still have this piece. In fact, maybe I should just go ahead and do a little bit more, because otherwise I'm not going to have enough for 3 flowers. I'll have to run over to Dollar Tree or something and grab another pack of filters, right? So, and I was hoping I could tear one that would be a little bit more narrow, but I don't think that happened. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these ready before I start coloring them. Hi, Christine. How are you? 24-inch wide coffee filters. Oh my goodness. Well, here, then you should use something like this. I've never seen any that size. I wonder if they were for some kind of a commercial coffee maker. Oh my goodness. I just don't know. I know in the past, a million moons ago, I remember we had a Bunn coffee maker, a place I was working, and worked at a little coffee shop late at night, and it was like in a hotel. And I know that, you know, we use those, and I remember sometimes I would make coffee, and I don't remember them being that big though. Well, you'll have to let us know. You'll have to come back and let us know if you find out what they were really for. But at an auction, there's no telling what we might get when we are at an auction, right? What it was meant for or whatever. Okay, so now we've got some paper. So now we're going to, I don't have a really fancy watercolor brush for this because I just want to get the color on. And so first what I want to do is just go ahead and get some water on the paper. Oh my goodness, we can't even see it now that it's put itself down there. It's like I've glued it down to the to my mat, right? This is one of those self-healing cutting mats, but I just use it for everything. It works great for about everything I do. Now, sometimes I will grab out one of my other, mats that is like a Teflon, you know, coated thing or something. Now, what I forgot to do was add some water on here. So I'm going to put some water on these. I don't know really which. This looks like it has a little bit too much green for what I want. So maybe in the centers, I'm trying to think of what else we might. Well, you know what? I might add a little bit of just a brown color. Let's see. Then they'd kind of look like a little. Now this would go more with these tones, but you know what? I'm going to use this color up there. So I'll get some water on that so it can start getting ready, getting its little color self ready. Okay. So now we're just going to I'm just going to use this bright one. This one reminds me of sunflowers. And now we're just going to go ahead and get this color on here. You guys, I'm hoping I can get this off of here. You know what? I maybe should grab out one of my mats because now I'm kind of worried. I'm worried that that's not going to come off of there very easy. Let me see. Man, that really wet that down there. And made a mess. You know what? Let me grab a mat real quick. I see one right here. So we'll put this down. Okay, and it's already kind of, you know, in a circular pattern, so that's kind of nice. Let's go ahead and do some more of the yellow pieces. And it doesn't really matter if we get it, if it's got a little bit of tint from the watercolor, because it's just still going to be the same color that we're putting on, right? I'll move that. And maybe I didn't even need that much water. I don't know, you just get it wet and there it goes, right? So it's got plenty. Hi Phyllis, how are you? Oh, nice, great. Yeah, I always hope that people will, you know, enjoy what we're doing and subscribe and then hit the little notification bell too so you can get a notification when there's going to be a new live. But we've been doing something. Now I'm at a little bit different time this week. You guys, I thought I had a dentist appointment this morning and I never did hear from them. Yesterday, they always usually confirm, and I thought, well, that's kind of weird that I didn't hear anything. So I got up this morning and I called to confirm myself, and she looks at it and she goes, your appointment is next Thursday. I'm like, not even at the same time. We just laughed. I said, I didn't have the day right, I didn't have the date right, and I didn't even have the time right. But I had changed the appointment, a previous one, and so they put me out about another month. And I bet what I did was, I don't know what I did because I didn't even get the date right. There's no telling. Okay, so now let's go ahead. You know what? I don't even know. You know what, you guys? I'm not gonna even add a second color in here because I'm gonna put a button in the middle. So it's not really even gonna matter. So I'm just gonna brush some of that color so it's just tinted a little bit. And we can just kind of pull that color over. But watercolor kind of gets a mind of its own, which is kind of the beauty of it, right? You can just, get it going, and it kind of has a mind of its own. And that's the thing, though. I mean, when you're doing real watercolor for, a project, not something like this, you just kind of you can't overwork it. If you overwork it, it just kind of loses itself, and you just kind of muck it all up. So it's just kind of better if you just lay it on and let it do its thing. Just put enough in and let it go. Yeah, this is not exactly behaving the way that I had anticipated, but maybe we'll go a little bit darker on the edges, on that outer edge. That might be pretty. Maybe I'll just splotch some of it on too. See how that does with the water. And sometimes you can't really tell until it's dry. And I do have my heat tool over here that I am going to use so that we don't have to wait forever, because as you can see, this is really wet. Now I'm only going to make 3 flowers. So there's another big piece. And I don't want to lay it on top. You know what? Let's go ahead and dry this. Now it might be kind of loud, so I am going to a cruise ship. Oh, Miss Meadows, that is interesting. I bet they would have big coffee filters from a cruise ship. Oh my goodness. Okay, hang on one second. I'm going to mute you guys while I dry. If you want to put things in the comments, I can read a second while I dry. I don't know, this might not be too loud. You guys will have to let me know. This one isn't as loud as some of my other ones. I'm gonna go ahead and sop up a little bit of this water. And then if I lift it up, yes, I'm doing fine, Christine. I hope you are too. Now, I was gonna say next week I would have to come on later, but that wasn't even the right day. So it's not for, it won't be my YouTube Wednesday that I am at the dentist. Oh, that one dried really nice. That was fast. Maybe it didn't have quite so much water on it. It's dry enough to use anyway. We'll be able to glue it down. I kind of like that. And you know what? I bet you anything that on this, on the blue paper, you know, I bet you that it will look really bright and vibrant. What's my favorite place to eat out where I am? You know what? My husband and I like to go to Texas Roadhouse. They have, you know, the quality of their food. We always have a good meal when we're there. And you can get, you know, not everything is fried. So much of the time when we go out to eat places here, so much of it is, you know, fried food. And you just, you know, one, it's not good for you all the time, right? And two, you just get tired of it. How about you? Where is a place that you like to eat? We also have some little places here. This is a kind of little cafe place, and they're called Blue Mound Cafe, and they have specials all the weeknights, and you know, but so much of it is fried as well. You know, even the vegetables, there's not very many things to get for vegetables that they're not fried too. So, and you know, I mean, it's really good, and it's really like home cooking. And so, except I try not to cook like that at home. But it's good. There's several of them around us. They used to be called something else, and the other place started selling to these other people, and they changed the name and kind of kept the menu pretty much the same, what I thought was kind of interesting. So it was like, you know, it was as if they didn't want to mess with what was working, which I always think that's smart, right? Okay, so we'll just add a little bit on here. And I think, so if you've noticed, as you know, as we've been doing this, I've kind of just been starting to pull it from the outside and then work from the outer edge and then work in and just kind of do it quick. And I'm hoping that will kind of give us a look where it's a little bit darker out on those edges. We'll see, right? We'll see how it is. Furs Cafeteria, you don't have those in your area. Now, I don't even know if Furs Cafeterias are still in business. Actually, I just don't even know. I remember we used to go there every Sunday after church when I was a kid. I was 11 years older than my brother, and after he was born, you know, my mom just said she wasn't cooking Sunday dinner, and my dad would take us. That was where we ate every Sunday after church, pretty much, unless it was like a weekend that was going to be, you know, things like Mother's Day or something when everybody else decides to go out to eat. We usually would eat at home on those days. But yeah, it's nice. A cafeteria that we have here close to us is called Golden Corral. And when we were up in Minnesota, they had Old Country Buffet, and those kind of started disappearing and going by the wayside, so you just never know. It's kind of hard to find a good cafeteria. And Luby's was another cafeteria. And I know there was one not far from, several miles from us here. That's the only one that I know where it still was. And after 2020, they ended up closing. So they aren't even around anymore. Oh, I kind of like this mottled effect, you guys. How do you like that? I think I kind of like it. Okay. So let's wipe that up. Oh, Mexican. Yeah, I tell you, I could eat Mexican food almost every day. I used to say that about that and Italian, but when I quit eating so many carbs, and even when I have Mexican food, I usually don't do the rice and beans. Okay, you guys, now we are going to take these, and I've already cut out some little circles just from white, just some white cardstock. Oh, that was kind of the way we felt about them when we first moved here. And we didn't go back for a really long time. Let me see if I can kind of pleat this around and see if I can make it around. I think I can. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a big glob of glue on here to get started. Some people, I know, you guys, I just have broken off the tip of this. Look what happened. It broke right here while I was trying to take that off. That is really not good. You guys, I'm gonna have to find a different bottle and put that in. And I can just see if I try and use that, it's gonna be coming out everywhere. Let's just use this. This is my reptile glue, and it will work just fine. I was just thinking with that other one, I might could get a bigger glob of it, but this will be perfect. So I'm just gonna start. I don't even remember which one of these I started, you guys. So just gonna start pinching it around here, and I might have to go back in with a little bit more glue. Yeah, if you did some hot glue, these are gonna be way bigger than I thought. But that's okay. I mean, I don't think that'll be a problem. Just kind of squish them up here. And I'm just gonna rip it off here. And I'm gonna have to get a little bit more glue down in here because there's nothing on the paper there. And then I'm just gonna have to go back in here and press some of these together. You know what? I don't need to really be too concerned about some of it because we're gonna have that button in the middle. Okay, I should have just left all of it together and used it, but and you know, it's just gonna be fine. Look, it's gonna be pretty big. So maybe, but you know, they can overlap. We'll let them overlap and I think it'll be fine. You substitute them for a side of cactus and sour cream. Now, I have never asked for that. Okay, and let's just start again. Do another one, kind of squish it up here. So if we get it oh, I guess I should be trying to pull it closer into the middle. Squishing more and getting it more in the middle. But you know what? I kept trying to think of what I might like to do to decorate the front. And I don't know, I just, I was thinking about this the other day, and I thought, you know, this could be kind of fun because it's relatively flat. And, you know, if you store your journals together, it could be, you know, your flowers could be pretty flat. I think I'm going to tuck this one under so it doesn't have, you don't see much of that ragged edge on the rest of it. Now this guy got loose, so I'm going to put him back here and just kind of capture that edge. And that'll catch pretty quick. Let's go back in here and see where else we need to grab some. Yeah, I'm always burning myself with hot glue, so I'm not really a fan. But all we need to do is really kind of tack it down. And we can go back in here and squeeze a little glue into here. Tack it down. You just need to make sure it's going to stay down, right? Okay. I really had not thought about that, Phyllis. I guess, I had been using that blue to do some inking, but I don't think I'm going to on here. I think I'm just going to leave them like this. Now this one we didn't get as bright. I mean, it's not as fluffy and full. I think I'll put that one on the bottom. And then maybe we can get one smaller. I'm going to try to do a smaller one. Let's see how it works. Who knows? Will it be smaller? That's a good question, right? We'll have to see. Phyllis, if you were going to ink it, what color do you think we should ink it? Now I need to pull this way down here to make sure I'm getting a much smaller flower. And just scrunch it up good. Now this one is where we ripped that second layer, so the outer layer of this one is rough. It's kind of jaggedy. I don't really like the jaggedy things sticking right out there on that side. So I mean it's a smaller flower, so let's go ahead and get that part glued down. But yes, a lot of times flowers look a little darker on the edges, don't they? I didn't even think about doing that. I was trying to make sure I had the rest of the stuff. So now I'm sitting here thinking, what am I going to put that glue in? A lot of people use the Sugar Belle icing, they're made for like food decorating, cake decorating, and they use those for putting their Fabri-Tac in, doing it like that. Okay, now I've got to get, where'd my buttons go? Oh, there they are. So I had these 3 buttons, and I mean, they're kind of odd for the center, but I did find 3 of them. Now they do have a shank on the back, but in case you don't know this, if you've got some of your craft scissors like this, you can use them to take off things like that. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to reach under. Now it does have a little wire thing I have to be careful of. I'm just going to snip it off, and that wire came off, and so now there's one side a little bit higher, so I'm just going to snip that. And so now, compared to this one, it's relatively flat. I mean, you've got that sticking up there, and now you've taken off the bulk of it like that, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I already did the first one because I really wasn't sure. They felt kind of like they were a plasticky, type thing, and I thought, well, I better make sure I can get it cut off. Now, if that little metal piece wasn't on there, I could just reach across the whole thing and cut it off in one fell swoop, but I didn't want to do that with that on there. Now, my reptile glue will pretty much glue things like this together, and it will glue all kinds of stuff. And so I'm just gonna, I don't know where exactly it's gonna hit. I'm just gonna put a whole bunch in there. So it'll take it a moment to dry, So I'm just going to set that aside and let it dry. But I just had all these buttons, and I thought, well, you know, if I'm going to make all the flowers the same color, it would be nice if I could find the same kind of a button. And they were just random buttons. And I thought, boy, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find buttons that match. And then I found those, and they were, you know, they were a blue color. And I thought, oh, that'll be perfect. Some random fun thing to put on, right? Okay. And we'll just leave those on there. Now we can kind of go ahead and decide where we want our stems. Or we'll kind of lay these on here and see where we want them and decide where our stems should go. So this one we're going to put kind of layered underneath, and it's kind of wackadoodle there. I got it. It's not really centered. So let's put the part that's not centered over here. Nobody will know. And then we'll just lay this one up here. So now we have kind of a good idea of where we could lay our stems. So I'm just going to take a pencil, and I'm just going to draw down through here where my stems can come out. And then I don't have to guess. Notice how I'm kind of crisscross down there. So we'll lay those little guys over there. And now we'll just go ahead and put this on here. See, here's what I was telling you, where I cut them off at the next color. I didn't get that one quite cut off all the way. So, and this will be kind of fun because I think that it really helps you realize that it is tall and skinny, right? So let's put this on. And just lay it on there. And I kind of like how it's kind of twisted. I think that makes it kind of cool. I'm not even going to straighten it out. I'm just going to let it lay there. Now this, I'm actually going to put a little in and make the stem a little bit thinner right here. I'm going to go ahead and fold that in on itself. Like that. Just kind of tap it down and let it set for a second. I'm still irritated about that glue snapping off. Okay. Oh, there's plenty in that little section. Need some more glue here. So, who's gonna try making some of the little coffee filter flowers? Oh, thank you. Yes, I so agree. I remember you know, years ago using hot glue so often, and then, you know, later on it would just come apart. Now I tell you what, this glue, this reptile glue that I use, it sticks quick enough that I just don't you know, I just don't worry about it. You know, it grabs pretty quick. And if you don't use a ton, it dries pretty quick too. Okay, and then our third one, we'll crisscross it here. Now let me just kind of lay these out again. Okay, I have to make sure I marked it right. Yeah, Phyllis, I think you should. Hi, Edith. I know, this is kind of, you know, kind of sunflowery, right? I was thinking that. I love sunflowers. I don't really like the way they smell, but I sure think they are pretty. One time we had this berm at the back of our backyard. There was a walking path along the side of the yard and the back of it. And the people before us had put in this berm, and it had this kind of a, I don't know what you would call it, not like fence, something they had built from railroad ties standing up, kind of for privacy, because people in that area did not have fenced yards. And so with the walking path around there, I think it had mostly been done kind of for a little bit of privacy. And so one year I planted some great big, those giant sunflowers. And it was so fun because sometimes if I was outside, I could hear people talking about them as they walked by, you know, as they got larger throughout the summer, and people would walk by and I could hear them commenting on my giant sunflowers back there. They were fun. Man, those things got just enormous. Okay, so now this is our one we're going to put over here. You know what? I should have just put it on here and stuck it on. Whoops, he's about to get off of the side of the journal. I guess I should kind of keep it within the bound, the edge, right? Sort of. We'll sort of keep it there. And then this little guy. And then if you wanted to, you know, put some kind of something with words or a little title or something, down here would be the perfect place where the stems cross right here. I think that would be perfect. Okay. What do you think? I like it. I think that's fun. I haven't done anything like that in a while. I miss doing stuff like that. You know, I'll get to playing with all kinds of other stuff, and then, you know, I don't do anything like this, and then I kind of miss it. But this guy could have been a little fluffier. But, you know, and then I didn't hide him as well as I planned. But, hey, he's on there, right? You believe they were called Mammoth Head. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Oh, my goodness. I Know You by Molly. Yes, that Molly, she usually is quick to get me shared in over at Junk Journal Jamboree. She's sweet. Okay, you guys. Yeah, me too. I like it. I'm happy with it. It's just, you know, something different. And so we've got all these, you know, and then it'll be fun, and I can still add some other yellow things inside. And who knows, now that we put that on the front, maybe that gives me a direction to go with what else that I might want to do decorating inside, right? You know, sometimes it just kind of all comes together towards, you know, the farther you are into your project. and then you start having other ideas as to what you want to do with it. And I think that is what makes creating so fun, is you don't have to know everything every minute, right? You can just go along and it kind of takes on a life of its own, and hopefully we're happy with it, right? You guys, thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you again next Wednesday here on YouTube Wednesday. Of course, I do lives on here. Anytime I'm on Facebook, I'm streaming here too. But this, I'm doing a series just here on Facebook. So if you were new today and you enjoyed it, I hope that you'll subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.